The IS350 is essentially a small car with a big engine. Now there's nothing innovative about that. Pontiac did it in the 60s. The IS350 is a sports sedan, and there's nothing innovative about that. BMW did it in the 70s. What the IS350 is a car built for people who have never known a world without a Lexus. The IS350 is Lexus' interpretation of the sports sedan. Now let me show you a couple examples of that interpretation. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a MotoMan first. Weldman will not be discussing welds. As impossible as that sounds, it's absolutely true. Instead, I'm going to be discussing disc brakes. Now there's nothing new about disc brakes, but what is Toyota known for? Reliability, ease of maintenance. Well, this is the Lexus logic approach to maintaining disc brakes. The caliper pistons on these calipers are removable and replaceable without taking the caliper off the car. In fact, you can remove and replace the pistons without taking the brake pads off the car. There's two plugs in the back of the caliper. You remove them, you pull out the pistons, you reseal them, you stick them back in, put the plugs back in, and bleed the system, and you're done. Now that may not seem like much, but you'll appreciate it when you have to pay the tab to have a brake job done. We've all seen MotoMan rolling on 20s in a Bentley or a Lambo. Well, life wasn't always so good for MotoMan. At one point, he was a starving student. In fact, he used to own a Supra with a gazillion miles on it. And he and his buddies thought they were cool, and they put Takiko three-way adjustable shocks on the front end of it. Well, now this Lexus has a DNA line that goes back to the Supra. And what do Lexus engineers put on the front end of this car? Takiko shocks. And guess what? They're three-way adjustables, which shows just how far ahead of their time MotoMan and his idiot buddies were. Here is another example of Lexus' interpretation of the sports sedan. Lighting. Now here you have new tech and old tech. The new tech being the LED lights that you see on expensive cars. Mercedes even uses them to light up the three-pointed star. The old tech are these projector beam headlights that everybody thinks is new, but has really been around for at least 100 years. Bentley made very good use of them in the late 20s with their 4.5-liter cars. And here is a headlight from a motorcycle from around the same era, and it has a magnifying lens that goes over a gas flame, and when you shut the lens, it sends the light ray further down the road. The most important Lexus interpretation of the sports sedan is you. The only reason Lexus came into being in the first place was because you, the customer, demanded something different. Now, prior to that, automobile manufacturers went through great lengths to imitate opulent interiors. Let me give you an example. I'm restoring a 1948 Packard Woody station wagon, and I'm using a roller made up of the same materials that fake boobs are made out of to roll on an imitation wood pattern onto a steel dash. Why steel? Because it's cheaper than real wood. Which brings us back to the Lexus. The Lexus has an understated interior made up of pure geometric shapes, which poses the question, what would you rather have? Understated and real, or opulent and fake? And that shows just how ahead of their time MotoMan and his MotoMan and his idiot buddies were.